hundreds of companies selling the same product, which is bread, right? Nothing different, bread. But every brand obviously has its own twist to it, its own taste, the way they do it. So we shop for the brand, right? And imagine if all of them did the same thing the same way. If they all made the bread the same way, promoted it, marketed it, you know. Hey everybody, we're back. We're back. My daily videos here, and obviously we're still in the quarantine. We still have much places to go and things to do, but we still have creativity on our side and able to create things on a daily basis. Whatever that is for you. For me, is just creating content, putting my hair in a ponytail, or the best that I can, man bun. Um, since there's no barbers for now, right? So implementing on the situations that's going on and making the best of it. But I wanted to bring a quick point where um, I thought about today, where I was kind of under the impression that I've been under the impression that our thoughts, obviously, I'm learning that our thoughts are creating our reality, and sometimes we um, see tragedies as a bad thing, right? And learning that sometimes tragedies are what catapult us to the next level or to a better part of ourselves that we never knew existed. I'm tending to look at these tragedies or things that we've kind of crisis right now as a bad thing. Looking at the good in these situations and understanding where can I learn, what can I learn from the situation, how can I grow, what can I maybe adapt and change to when everything does go back to normal. So definitely the way we look at life obviously has a lot to do with how we interact with others, how we interact with anyone in general. Because obviously we're always in relationships with everybody around us. And the funny thing is that oftentimes we get down on ourselves, right? And we think that if we're not doing something, we're not really doing anything. And I think I've come to conclusion that even though you're not doing anything, you're always doing something. You're always growing. You're always learning. Even if you're not like myself reading books or learning things or googling things online, you're always learning about yourself, learning about what what makes you feel good, what activities you need to kind of get yourself going, and mental health as well, physically and also obviously mentally. But we're always doing something, and I think in these times we kind of feel that we're not being productive. I know for myself, I'm not doing much as far as content wise on other platforms because I haven't had like the urge or the inspiration, and I normally go by inspiration. I stay here on YouTube because I feel like it's a documentary of myself, of these days that that are happening with the quarantine and stuff, and how I'm growing and learning about myself. So YouTube it is. But as far as my daily videos on my other platforms, I've been doing more of TikTok because I feel like it's light, it's funny. I do random thoughts of my daily interaction with my kids and how I think. So it keeps it light, keeps me fun, and you're gonna get uh, um, a lot of negative comments and people opposing your thing, stuff like that, on any part of life. But as the great Wayne Dyer says, people's opinions are just their opinions, right? It's not your opinion. So I try to not let it affect you, but it does, obviously. But the faster you can do that, I think the faster you're able to really come out with your authentic stuff and things you want to talk about or have. There's a lot of experts on showing us how to do things and what way we should do it, how we should present it. But I honestly think that if we all did it the same way, then it would be kind of like going to a store and having the same brand for any product. Right? Most of the times you have thousands and thousands of brands for one product. I seen a post not too long ago of how you go to a supermarket and you go to the bread aisle and you have maybe hundreds and hundreds of companies selling the same product, which is bread, right? Nothing different, bread. But every brand obviously has its own twist to it, its own taste, the way they do it. So we shop for the brand, right? And imagine if all of them did the same thing the same way. If they all made the bread the same way, promoted it, marketed it, packaged it, we wouldn't have much of a choice. And I think when you're, you know, at home now, learning how to create things and content creation, and whether it's a brand or a business, whatever it may be, I think I personally feel that the more closer you get to what you really want to do, you have to really take insight on yourself and what it is that you really want to bring to the table, right? What is it? What is the value you want to bring? Of your authentic self. I have a lot of friends on Instagram and TikTok, and they have their own way of bringing out value, of saying things. We might have the same message, but they have their own way of bringing it out. And I don't think it makes any lesser powerful or lesser of value, but it's just their own sauce. And I think I honestly I feel that sometimes we get caught up in how to do things and we don't do it. And I think there's no better practice than doing it and failing. I've failed a lot, still failing a lot. But I think the more you can detach yourself from those results, whether it's good or bad, the more you can just put out content and put out what you want to put out. The faster you can get away from attaching yourself to the results, which is, I'm gonna be honest, it's super hard. I'm still practicing that. You get attached to a little bit of clout on one video or whatever, and on one content, and you think, oh wow, you can just like keep on doing that. But understand that this has its own. For me, every piece of content, every creation, every even if it's like a individual itself, everything has its own purpose. So let it be. If it grows, if it becomes big, great. If it doesn't, you keep on moving forward either way. There was a great Stewart, sorry about his name, I forgot his name, but a great influencer on Instagram that I used to follow. I still follow him, but I used to watch him a long time ago. And he says, you're every day you're just planting seeds. And that's the way I look at anything I do as well. You're planting seeds. And whether they grow or not, you really don't have control of that. You're just planting the seeds in the ground, watering, make sure it has good soil, and eventually, things grow. Whether it does or not, it's not really up to you. It's up to the universe, whatever you want to call it, that has that power, and it relieves a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. So yeah, quarantine, being home, a lot to think about. So start putting out content, guys, whatever it is you want to put out, and less overthinking, and just be yourself. Get a man bun if you have to, like myself. There's no better way, there's no other you. So I wish you guys the best of luck, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.